Just gotta get things up and running. Time to do the usual. I am now live over on the YouTube. See, uh, go into the link, take you to my channel, or even type in the XT Donkey and come on over and say hello. I am now live over on the YouTube. See, go into the link, take you to my channel, or even type in the XT Donkey and come on over and say hello. I am now live over on the YouTube. See, what up? One person. Sorry, I'm just doing the formalities. Just have to do the formalities. Yes, that is meant to be on my bike, but we have a current situation going on. It won't be going on until next week. I have to drill holes in it, put the back pad on, so it will get on the bike at some point. We had a little issue coming home from shopping today where my girlfriend's car decided to, how would you say, try to shit its axle. So it did. We thought it was just a flat tire, and then we get in, and furthermore, it was a lot more than a flat tire. But never let it defeat us. Don't let it defeat us. Gotta keep moving. Oh dear, dear. So I'm going to be on for about an hour. Just I try to do these once a month, and this is probably as close to the once a month that I've got so far. But how are you doing? I hope you're well. Glad it is Wednesday. Oh dear goodness. Absolutely and utterly exhausted by this point in the week. Plus the weather's got awfully miserable again, which it is what it is. I was going to say I'm looking for a box so I can bring the camera to here so I can look right at the screen, but hold that thought. Christmas present box for the win. Stupid ramp. Sorry. I know this doesn't make good viewing, but yeah, maybe better. So, I'm sorry. There, that makes it a wee bit better. But yeah, as I say, I'm just glad it's Wednesday. I'm a bit out of breath because I've just had to hump my bike over and round and over things, and them things aren't the lightest. So they're not. Maybe we'll get some more people in it. Let's see, two more. One more person. Absolutely freezing outside. So when I do these lives, starting from the next one, what I'm going to do is, if anybody is interested, I'll send them a link, which will let them join in. I don't know how many people it can get. I'll probably do one or two, just so I can see how it works, and then take it from there. I do want to start the interviews up again, so that will be one thing that I have to get sorted. But we're trying to get on top of these live streams. They're not the most regularist of things, so it's just one of those things. Ideally, what I need is to become rich, so I don't have to work and I can just live stream all day long. Because then I can afford a computer that I can live stream on, like properly. But as I say, as always, like, just any questions, just drop them in the comments. I have got all the chats open. I can see. if only there was a way of. Well, there is a way of streaming to other platforms too, but it costs money. Because I know with StreamYard you have to pay for a subscription and then it gets you access to all this other stuff. But maybe at some point in the future I'll do it just to see if it's worth it. But there's always these things always take a wee bit of time to get off their feet. I don't really have a massive following, so I do tend to just chat. If people give me subjects to talk about, I'll talk about that within reason. So it's just, I know with monthly live streams, it is always about, having things to talk about at the end of the month and chatting about them, but nothing exciting is happening. There is that thing happening in February where everybody is meant to be going to the same place and looking at bikes, but I don't think that's going to be a success. I do have to sit and record that video tomorrow. I was going to do it today, but I kind of have this, and then I've released a video releasing a video on Friday. What's my ultimate road trip? I don't know. I'm not a big Route 66 person. I just don't see. I do see the attraction, but I'm not attracted to it. Like Mongolia, somewhere like that. Maybe do part of like the long way round trek or something, because I did like the original first series, but kind of hated it after it went mental after with all the spin-offs and stuff. So that, but yeah, no, I would some road trip around Mongolia or the Himalayas or something would be ideal. Where would your ideal road trip be? That's the question. Generally, anywhere that isn't popular would do me. I've always wanted to do it, and this is a daft idea in my head. I want to go to Afghanistan or Iraq for a holiday. Just because not everybody's been there and not everybody wants to be there, so it's like, I want to go there. I have always said that if I do find a commercial flight that would take me to and from there and a hotel, I would go. Money as well. If I had the money as well, I would do it. But you just have to throw a dart at a map and see where it lands. So you do. But if someday I would love to do like a run from here, from say Belfast to Greece, just cause, you know, maybe when I get the super tenor at some point in the future, I could do it. But anything, just the criteria has to be less popular, the better, and not even fairly decent accommodation, but enough accommodation that I can sleep and eat. See, I've heard a lot of people say the Alps. It's a hard one because the Alps are vast, so they're pretty vast in the size. So I mean, you can incorporate that into many. Or am I spoiling rubbish again? Is yeah, Liechtenstein? Aye, pretty vast. You pick pick an end and ride from one end to the other. There is one. The Road of Bones. I would love to ride that. Just, but it's in Russia. Might be a wee bit of an issue there. Because I mean, see, can you get the wee man and drag and drop him on there? Harold, anywhere you guaranteed great weather. It's not very many places these days. Wait to see this. This is one I want to see. How do I do this again? Present. Screen share. Make sure all the naughty things are off. Like, look at that. To me, that is absolute brilliant. Like, barely any traffic. I think that would be absolutely class. And I mean, I think it gets worse as the road goes on. You can always tell by the wee draggy drop man. You see, draggy drop man, drop him there. Look, it's just nothing. Oh, there's a sign. You know it's great when you find a sign. I'm going the wrong way to read it. Where's a car? Don't know what the sign says, but there's a car. I want to see the car. Ooh, where'd he go? Like, look at this. How would you not want to like go and see this hoodling down a road like that? Well, trying to do like 70, 80 mile an hour. I think that would be great. Harold, I think you're thinking of somewhere like where is it? Somewhere like Greece. You see, Belfast to Greece, that'd be fun. No, Spain's very British. Just broke Google. Like, that to me would be a trip. So it would say what 2,300 mile to Greece in 41 hours. What's that? Say you do four, four and a bit 10-hour days on the bike. Is that even possible? Probably not. But imagine just boodling down there and just, you know, you take in so many countries. Spain, you kind of just get one or two countries. I don't like that. I always like to be droppy pin man. You just pick a road that's closest to the water. Like, look at that road. Yes, please. I don't even know what's the end of the road. What's the end of the road? Looks very runway. I mean, big ball in the sky here. You'd be grand. It's something to consider. It really is. See who all saying they're going to come over. Okay, that looks warm. It normally is. What temperature? Obviously, today is not. We'll take today. 10. Sure. Please. This. I mean, it's 9 degrees. It's still sunny and gets up to 14. But then it goes up. Where here it goes. And then down rapidly. But yes, I think it would be worth a big trip. But I need the money. Canary Islands, yes. But it's the hassle of getting there. It would be the hassle of getting there. Users are doing this, so I am going to Google it every time someone suggests a decent place. No, I don't care about the storage. Just give me Google Maps. It helps if I was clicking maps. I was clicking. Show Belfast. Directions. Canary. Canary Island, Spain. Which one was it going to take me to? Oh, big good God. 69 hours. Giggly. 2,767 mile. Obviously, Belfast down through Scumland, down through France, down through Spain. I'm assuming get a boat. And then, how long would the boat be though? Includes ferry. All right, we'll just take it that there's a boat that takes us there, and then Canary Island, and then we'll go Darby Man on top of the mountain. Oh yes, please. Like mountain road, proper mountain road. Oh, I think I know this road. Like, you would need a set of tires just to get there. Yeah, I've heard of. Is it? Islands motorcycle tours. It's but obviously sponsored by certain other YouTubers. Teapot's dead on. Not really a fan of this one. This one I think got famous by just reading the newspaper. But I mean, we'll say we'll be lazy. We'll go for 5 days of riding. Night reserve, now tell me much. So, say I'm going to my own. 2 riders sharing a room. 2-star hotel, £795. £895 for a 4-star hotel. So you're going to want to, if you're going to be riding for 5 days, you're going to want a nice hotel. Does that tell you what bike you get to? Driving license, relevant holiday insurance, and covers ride over runs. We insure the bike, not the rider. That's helpful. Boots, suitable riding trousers. Cam Biker, how are you? Haven't seen you in a long time. We're just obsessing over holidays. Because if I was going to do this holiday, I would pick, controversially, I would pick not the Hornet, not the Rebel, not the SV, not the CB500, maybe the Versys. NC750X, possibly. And I would have to have I'd probably, if I had the money, an Africa Twin. I'm intrigued by an Africa Twin. I don't know if you YouTubers have reviewed them lately too, which to me is just, I need to have a go on one just to see what it's like, just solely for investigative reasons. It definitely is time to think about warmer climes. I'm hopefully maybe going on holiday this year, but I'm going to wait until the end of the year and go to like Cyprus or something for a non-riding holiday. Or could you just hire a bike? Because that would be something that would be interesting in. Just going there and spending my own time. And custom tour. What's in a custom tour? I don't need to tell you. Well, they research and do all the planning. So yeah, a holiday like that would be great. I would need to save for a year. Read this out. Two of my riding buddies have AT. One has DCT, one manual. Both absolutely love it. I can't get my leg over it due to the height. Yes, but I think they do a short hours version, because if I was to buy an Africa Twin, I would need to invest in the short hours version. And that's coming from someone who, I want to buy a Super Tenere, and I've sat on one, and it's just a tad too high. But, you can overcome that. My cousin had an Africa Twin. I say had because he's now got what I like to call a grandfather Honda. Not sure what it is, but he had the Africa Twin and he put everything on it. I think he did 2 tours to Faro in Portugal and then sold it. Don't know the theory behind it. I think he's seen a brand spanking new shiny bike that he wanted and decided to have it. But it was a nice bike, and I would have to make it my own for some way. I would have to make it my own. There were bikes for hire last year in town. You see, this is the thing. I have a wild phobia about riding abroad. When we went to Sideri in Greece this year, I had actually seen a place, ironically, had XT660Xs for hire. And we got chatting to the guy, and he was like, "Do you know these bikes? Have you ever rode one of these bikes?" And I was like, and we got talking about it, and he kept offering me it less and less and less for like a couple of days. And just watching the way people ride in different countries is scary. To be part of it, probably not for me, but I would love to try it in a quieter place like Tenerife, Gran Canaries, somewhere that's a wee bit more sparse with people. Even the low seat. Even the low seat is way too big for me. The CB5. You see, my XT660, I was on my tiptoes. The tracer is actually slightly lower by about 10 mil, give or take 10 mil. And I'm on my tiptoes. I can only really touch the ground both feet if I have Lisa on the back. Same when I had the XT. If I had a passenger on the back, I could only ever touch the ground when someone was on the back or it was fully loaded. It didn't faze me. It only phases me when I overturn and I lock out the handlebars and the bike tips and you're like, ooh, and then you have to sort of save it. But I generally just get on with it. I am that type of person that I'm not paying for the extras to make it lower and all this here. And I've heard the rumors about having dog bones and just did not bode well. So I just decided to not go for all that. I did ride my friend's GS 500, and his had I rode it with the stock shock on it, and it was grand. I could fucking whip that thing around everywhere. And then he put a bigger shock in it. It was like this, and it was back to tippy toes again. And as most people know, I don't wear normal bike boots. I wear motocross boots, which they do restrict your leg a lot more and your ankle a lot more from pushing down. So I'm too short for the bike, and then I restrict myself from getting my feet down. So I'm my own worst enemy, to be honest. But no, it is strange. There are things, there are ways out there that, or bikes out there that I really do want to try. I just ain't got the height, and I don't want to drive the short ass version. It's like when you see a GS, like a fully loaded GS, the proper touring, but it's like 8 feet tall. I want to sit on that just to see if I can touch the ground, but I know I can't. It is crazy. I have so many bikes on my list I can't ride. Sports bikes, especially because they're so wide. It's not even the fact that they're tall, that they're so wide. I just cannot get my legs down. I normally have to like slope to the side and hope for a curb or a dip in the road that brings me down a lot to the ground. But yeah, it is one of those things. But as I see, the fascination people still have with the MSX 125s. And that bike I could comfortably put my feet down, but obviously the bike is like 3 feet tall. Oh shit! Sorry. But there's a question: what bike out there do you want to ride, but you know you're too short to? Is it the same as mine? I suppose as well. It just depends on what's on the market at that time too. Being able to find a bike that you like and get it to the height you want is golden. Yeah, I actually rode recently one of the new Tracer nines. Um, Absolutely ferociously fast. Um, so many things that I didn't actually like on it. It was the way it's designed. I don't like the look of the what you're looking at. The dash is pretty small and everything's just exposed. But yeah, I was the same. Tiptoes. Like I'm 5'7" on a good day, and I tiptoe on mine and on it, and it didn't actually feel uncomfortable doing it. But I understand what you mean. See, this is what obviously I have rode the Tracer that I have now for 3 years, either just at the back of 3 years, and I find it's pretty sort of bulked up, and there's a lot of protection in the sides and mid sort of fern and stuff like that there. But when I rode the Tracer 9, it was like there was a massive gap, like a bar gap right the way around, and just with the way the new fern side fern is, and then the top with the way it's all arranged, and it just felt awfully claustrophobic. But it's interesting that someone that has like a big bike with a totally different setup thinks it's quite enclosed. I really do like that opinion. Like, I have been vocal since the release the new Tracer. I went, what? What the feck? Those two daft lights in the front should be like daytime running lights, and then the top one should be like your headlights. But they went all mad. They did so many bad things with the MTs, and I did see the one bike that interested me at the bike show at the NEC this year was the Kawasaki ER6 Hybrid. Let's see if I can find it. Red. Very odd. They're not nice. Did I post a picture of that bike? I think I did. Give me a second. Yamaha have always been nice, sort of well thought out fronts. I think they let the new guy design this one and the new headlights and stuff. I mean, once they made the R1 look like a fucking what do you call it? What do you call it? What do you call them wheels with the big boggly eyes and everything? One of those, and it's just nasty looking. You see, I'll read that. I'll read everything in a second here. Pictures. But they definitely have let the new guy design bikes recently. Where is the bike? I'll find it. I think I get closer. I didn't post it? No, I've had to post it. I didn't post that one. I am disappointed. I swore I posted it. Posted that. I'm going to have. Probably not even look at it right. No, I didn't post it. I just spelled Kawasaki to start off with. Find a picture on MCN. Right, so I find a picture of it here. You see. I have been considering ER6 as a big for Mrs. opinion. Oh, don't be buying one of these ones. So, again, I think they've let the new guy loose on this. So, up close, generally you have your engine. You have your engine in here. And then you have this that like wraps around one side of the bike. And the tailpiece is like that wide, but like that thick. So it must house some sort of battery. What's this picture of? That's a hydrogen engine. So there you go. You've got your engine. This obviously this is an air intake for for the battery, but I don't even know what to think of it. It's like that's a full electric one. That looks okay. That is something that I think they made a mistake. Yeah, I agree. Um, one bike that I'll admit I'm not an electric bike person or electric car person, but there was one bike that I wanted to try at the show, and it was this here. It's the Energica. Now, this bike, when I sat on it, felt like a total weapon. Obviously, it is supported so people can sit on it, but and I don't know what this was all about, but it almost felt like sitting on a caddy, and it had some stupid amount of horsepower in it, and some stupid amount of this and stupid amount of that. It's like a stupid ass price tag on it too. I would like to try that though. I would like to have a go on that, like just to say that I've tried it. I was talking to so many dealerships while I was there, and they asked me, "Oh, have you tried it? Have you tried electric? Have you tried?" It's like, "No," and they're asking me why not. I was like, "Because there's a big patch of water that nobody seems to be able to get across, and some of the dealerships here they only have like a handful of scooters and stuff like that, and it's just like, eh, I don't want to ride a scooter. I want to ride a motorbike." Looks pretty. I love electric to work, but we don't have the infrastructure target tech yet. Okay, I heard what YouTube is feeling. I'm not interested in electric. Can do that. Yeah, I seen something the other day. It's now more expensive to charge your car than it is to fill it with petrol. It's like, was that not like one of the major marketing things that you know it's cheaper and but as you say, if the mileage isn't there, I can't fucking imagine me going to work every day and having or every 3 days I'm having to charge my bike at work. My boss would take money off my wages to be able to afford it. But no, I would definitely have one of those Energicas, but I mean, give me a noisy bike any time of the year. And as you say, if you can't do an errand, but on a bike, there's no point. You're you're only going to go fast for 30 or 40 mile out and then 40, 30 or 40 mile back, and then you're charging it again. And with the price of electric in your houses these days, it's like probably not the best thing to have. But definitely, I would wholeheartedly have an electric if it was as fun as a petrol. If it didn't cost me as much, but to buy it, it's going to be a fortune. And then what happens when the battery pack goes meh and dies? You're up the creek. often more than 150 miles to start of ride out. I'd have to watch everyone leave whilst I recharge. Yeah, and you're going to be sitting there for about 2 or 3 hours. So by the time you get going on that run, everybody's gone. Everybody's going home. Yeah, if I was to ride 150 mile to a ride out, I don't think I'd be in Ireland at all. Where is it? I'm going to do this because my brain is like, need to find out. So, head is the most northerly tip to Mizzen Head. Mizzen. So, for anybody of you that don't know, Malin Head is probably the most northerly point of the island of Ireland. It is located in County Donegal, not Northern Ireland. And then Maisenhead, right to the bottom, is in Cork, or thereabouts. And we have to convert it to miles. Have to convert it to freedom units. Miles, please. Yeah. So, from the most northerly point to the most southerly point, it is, depending on what way you go. If you go down the west coast, as in the Wild Atlantic Way, it is 379 miles. If you go to Londonderry and then down Dundalk, Dublin, and then back out, it's 413. So if I retract, well, there you go. 150 miles for me. So 150 miles for me is Castlebar in so basically Castlebar, which is 3 hours and 26 minutes away, which is not fun. I know someone who is switching back to petrol from electric for their car. He used to say that the recharge times were fine, but nowadays there are too many people oozing all the electric away. Yes. Charges them. You see, if you have a solar panel, if you say you have a solar setup, that's fine, because it's probably not going to cost you much, because you'll charge your batteries during the day and use the batteries to charge your car. So you're not using electric to charge the car. But as you say, the more and more people who get electric cars will then want to charge them, which then means you're supercharged. Your superchargers won't be superchargers because they're having to feed, say, 10 cars. And as you say, the infrastructure is just not there. And we're all going greener and power sources these days. And I think there are going to be a lot more nuclear powered stations coming up, because that's the only thing that's going to give us enough power. But totally agree. Totally. It is crazy how electric suddenly took off and then suddenly fallen on its ass nearly. Obviously it's not, but it's nearly getting there. I did want to get solar panels for this house, but they we're on a flat roof, and it would cost more to get it put up and rearranged and all that there. But I can't see the bikes taking off. As you hear all the manufacturers saying that they're going to start doing away with petrol bikes, they're going to start maybe creeping in the odd one because there's no way that's going to keep going. And unless they try and find a way to revamp old batteries, you know, yeah. I actually started watching like a guy that there's a couple of ones on YouTube that I find on TikTok who do like no talk about their solar setups, and the guys like get 8 panels or 16 panels and 3 batteries. He's with Octopus Energy, and he can feed back into the system, and he picks the time that he can feed back into the system. And basically, what he does is charges his batteries. Once the batteries are charged, he stops that, and then sort of uses solar to add, to take off his electric supply coming in, and then at night when there's energy is high, he then drains his batteries back into the system or back onto the grid and gets paid for it. Yeah, I think that's one thing that's going to stop bikes is the weight. You hear people buying carbon fiber this, carbon fiber that because they think it's going to save their bike a kilogram. You're going to start buying like lithium ion batteries, which are already in your bike, and try and get them lighter and lighter and lighter to the point where they're useless. I just, I think he is from Yorkshire. He's a bald guy, slightly insulated. But no, the solar stuff intrigues me just because I don't want to pay bills. Then Northern Ireland is not the most sunniest place. But even then, I think as long as it's daylight and it's not really overcast, you can still generate some sort of electricity. I think this guy was just an electrician. I'm not too sure. I have seen a couple of American ones, and obviously they do it bigger and better in America. And the guy had like 30 solar panels, 30 solar panel array with it's like 10 to 20 Tesla battery packs up on a wall, like double batteries. I think it worked out like 20 batteries. And he was actually powering like 4 other houses, 5 other houses from his, plus the energy company was paying him more money than he was paying out. I was like, Jesus. Not too. Yeah, but that's the thing. I know. I actually know a couple of people who have solar panels here, and Smug Git comes to mind when you talk to them. But they have to pay. They have to pay for someone to come out and clean them, someone to come out and maintain them, someone to come out and check them every so often. You can't just like use the soap and a stick. You have to use proper stuff, because if you don't use the proper stuff, you can kill off the life and kill off what to bring in. I don't think I would be up for that. So I wouldn't. So I'm gonna go. I said I was gonna be on for an hour. I'm gonna stick to that. Cam, it was great talking to you. For everybody who came on, thank you very much. I know this is a pretty much impromptu live stream, but I want to get these out. I want to maybe try and do 2 a month. So I'm just going to have to keep pushing. As always, keep it lit. If you can't keep it lit, well, don't buy solar panels.